Well, I'll be your host, Steel City Dahmer.
What's your favorite scary movie?
As you can see, I'm not in the normal studio today. I've been on the road, and today I'm in fucking Denver, Colorado. Shout out to fucking Roxy and Danny Boy for showing me a good time when I was out here. So, since I'm not at home, I didn't bring my mic, so I'm gonna have to apologize if the audio is shit. Alright, deal with it. Anyways, today I'll be covering a lesser-known cannibalistic 1987 gem called Blood Diner. This was supposed to be a sequel to the 1963 gory as fuck movie Blood Feast, but that was scrapped, and this is considered a remake of sorts. This movie was shot in 3 weeks, but so rugged that a bunch of provinces in Canada banned it when it was released. Let's see what the big fucking deal is, shall we? Hail Sheetar. We open with a sweet pre-movie warning telling you not to be such a pussy. I feel like this channel could use that.
Note, all of the mutilations, bodily dismemberments, and cannibal rituals were performed by seasoned professionals.
Yeah, everyone, just leave the cannibalism to the professionals. This nice suburban home, a mother is leaving her kids home alone because she ran out of tampons. The second she leaves, we hear breaking news about someone who escaped police, has a meat cleaver in one hand and his dick in the other. He must have seen a car leave, and he decides to go into this exact house. As the kids try to hypnotize this dog, they hear a cat crushing sound outside. They shit their pants as this guy destroys the fucking door. As he busts through the door, meat cleaver in hand, luckily dick put away. Kids don't freak out because it's Uncle Anwar, played by Drew Goddard, and he has a surprise for the kid. He brought them the amulet of an ancient cult. Hail Sheetar. Anwar's in a bit of a pickle and leaves the kid so he can go take care of it. We time travel 20 years into the future, and George Tubman, played by Carl Crew, who also played Jeffrey Dahmer in the Secret Life of Jeffrey Dahmer movie, is digging up old Anwar's grave. The security guard wonders what the fuck's going on here, before getting a face full of dirt and smacked in the back of the head with a shovel by Mike Tubman, played by Rick Burns. What is that, Stanley? Where'd you get that? These two are Anwar's nephews from before. George tosses the security guard's body like it ain't shit and goes to open the coffin. What the fuck? They take a hacksaw and cut down the middle of his head. The saw gets stuck, and they pop the brain out of his head and place it in a big jar. They say a few magical resurrection spells.
Resurrection from the veil of chaos and darkness has come again for Sheetar.
They weren't sure if it worked until Uncle Anwar answered their question for them. Later that night, the two dress up in their finest cult robes and listen to their brainy uncle. He tells them that they need a virgin to sacrifice and they have to have a blood feast. All for the one true power of Sheetar.
Sheetar. Sheetar.
These brothers work at a diner, and they brought their uncle along to help supervise, I guess. This is where we see the shopping list of things they need.
Special feast for...
Hey, will you turn that thing down?
None of this sound too good, so good thing they have some MSG to go along with it. Marion Feast sounds fucking terrible. Mike gets Connie, played by Lisa Elena, to sign up for the Marion Feast, but he didn't tell her what's going to be on the menu. We cut to a titty-filled video shot for an aerobics workout video. I guess Reagan doesn't like titties because a guy with a Reagan mask comes in and just mows down these hoes. Oh, that's just Mike, and he needs their tongues. He also cuts body parts off different girls so they can build a Sheetar body.
Am I doing this right, Uncle Anwar?
Cops are cleaning up the scene, and they hate what they're seeing. Somebody has to break the tension, right? So Mark Shepard, played by Roger Doar, cracks a little joke, you know, to lighten the mood up a little bit.
Well, what do you make of it, Mike?
Looks like someone had a do-it-yourself lunch meat party.
Chief's getting tough.
That bum is Chief Miller, played by Max Morris. Here's where we'll meet Sheba Jackson, played by Lynetta LaFrance. She's letting the Chief know that they have cannibals on their hands. Mark tries to pick up Sheba, but I don't think she's feeling it. Back at the diner, Mike sees Connie outside and goes to talk to her. She tells him that she was supposed to be at that nude shoot, but she just couldn't do it. Mike gives her a little present so she could feel better.
It's a sacred amulet. It's very old, and it's very powerful. It represents the ancient goddess Sheetar.
As this fat fuck talks about the massacre that happened, a chute door opens up and guess what? There's all the body parts from the fucking massacre. The fuzz narrow their searches to all the health food joints in the town. I think Tubman's restaurant is a vegetarian restaurant. They better hurry up and bring Sheetar back so they don't get caught. It looks like they're in the process of building her as we speak. As they sew this girl up and get berated by their uncle in a jar, they begin covering the dead body in fucking butter. Or is it gold paint? I have no fucking idea. Anyways, Anwar says they need 2 stomachs from a couple of tramps. He also gives them a little word of the wise.
But don't make the same error I made by ravishing the virgin before the sacrifice. I failed the mission, and for that disgrace, locked my schlang off on the day of the Glee Club massacre.
The brothers dress up like a bunch of ridiculous turds and try to walk into club dread. The bouncer tries to be Mr. Big Dick with George, but George ain't no bitch. That was fucking awesome. The other bouncer doesn't really seem fazed that George just killed his coworker and lets him inside, just asks if his coworker's okay. The inside of Club Dread was not what I was picturing from a club with the name of Club Dread. It's a bunch of turds listening to a fucking doo-wop band. The place has sluts though, so it's a good place to find tramp guts. They quickly find their prey and start macking on these girls.
Hey, listen. This dive's really a crashing bore. What do you say you come back to our place for a little Numerian feast?
The cops go to this veggie place, but there ain't shit here except for this fucking guy. What is this guy? What the fuck? He talks, and people respond, but he's also not fucking a real person. Apparently they put this fucking dummy in there just for the sole fact they didn't have to pay anyone else. I can respect that. But he tells him about Tubman Cafe, so I guess he helped out a good bit. Mike asked his date if she has ever played battered girlfriend. Don't worry though, he's not gonna beat her, he's just gonna cover up her butter.
There's one last little spot that I have to get.
Her head turns into a giant hush puppy, and Mike sends her deep-fried head flying. George's girl decides it's time to go home, but finds her friend decapitated with Mike playing chef doctor? That sounds good. I'll have that. She somehow thinks that George isn't in on all this and yells for his help. Instead of yelling for George's help, why don't you just go hide in the freezer room? She almost made it out, but decides to go back for her purse, and of course, that's when she meets her demise. This homeless lady sees a full cigarette in a garbage can and goes to grab it, but she knows there's a full fucking hand in there. Oh shit. Somehow, without him noticing, the girl grabs George's necklace. The cops take the necklace to an archaeological dig, and of course, this lady knows what the fuck this necklace means.
Now, that artifact that you showed me happens to be from a deviant religious sect of Lumerians that worshipped a bloodthirsty goddess of black magic, Sheetar.
She was believing this crazy lady, but we already know that she's right. Nobody in the real world will ever believe this. We cut back to the brothers cooking up some human wings. And they pour some of the juice into Anwar's jar, and he's digging the flavor. Who would have thought a veggie cafe would be this poppin'? Hey, Connie comes up, and Mike asks her out on the date. Remember when Mike made that cat clock go crazy in the beginning of the film? Well, he uses the same powers on Connie to get her to accept his proposal, but then this fucking guy interrupts Mike's game.
Say, George, you want to take care of this fucking customer for me? Say tomorrow? Around 8?
Oh, it wasn't just some random fuck. It was the guy from the other diner and his weird fucking puppet person thing. The fucking IRS shows up and asks to see the books. This goes about as good as you think, but hey, now they got more specials.
These look real fresh.
Yep, if you didn't catch it, this veggie cafe serves people human meat, and they love the fuck out of it. Who wouldn't? This biker flags down George, but he knows not to pick up hitchhikers.
Everybody does the mambo.
Holy shit, this dude just won't fucking die. He runs over this dude 10 fucking times. 10. We could have released 2 people about to fuck in a cave. This place looks like a rad place to fuck. Before they get down to it, here's Georgie. This naked girl beats the fuck out of Georgie and KOs him after grabbing his dick and punching him in the jaw. The real winner here is Gravity. George goes to put her in the back of the van, but kicks her out of anger for breaking his balls.
Bitch.
Mike is already back at the cafe with his girl. She's hoping to get some monster dick. She's gonna get something. George pulls up to the cafe and runs the lungs and liver into the back room. And Mike sucks the blood out of all this girl for the blood buffet. They leave the cafe and drag a body in a bag to their van. But who the fuck is watching them? Oh fuck, it's the butthurt owner of the other veggie joint, Stan, played by Bob Loya, and his stupid fucking puppet lover, or whatever the fuck this thing is. Stan goes in and breaks into this cafe.
Don't do it, Stan. Stan, you'll get in trouble. Don't do it, Stan. Stan!
Mark sits down and talks to this detective's family. This scene really shows how bad the fucking dubbing was in this movie, but somehow it all adds to the awesomeness. Anyways, Mark brings up the trial against Uncle Anwar.
Easy. Okay.
Alright lady, calm the fuck down. We get a flashback to the beginning of the movie, but we get to see Anwar get gunned down. The detective also brings something up weird about when Anwar dies.
The wildest damn eyes. I looked into them just as he died. I could have sworn they were saying, "One day, detective. One day I'll be back for you and your little girl, too."
You'll never guess who his daughter is. Yep, it's Connie. She's with Mike at his brother's wrestling ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the monster of the Nile. the killer of the Sphinx, luscious Lou the Lumarian.
He's about to fight little Jimmy Hitler. Mike's really getting into this match. You think they would have pushed this to another day since they're gonna bring back the goddess Sheetar tonight. Little Jimmy Hitler thinks he's blitzkrieging George. Okay, Hitler really is beating the fuck out of George, showing no mercy. Mike shoots Hitler with a slingshot to distract him so George can fuck him up. Damn, dude, don't you know that Mike was on a date? George wins because Hitler probably can't stand up properly. Connie wants to go home, but Mike has different plans and cold clocks her and takes her to the cafe where Sheba is staking out at. She gets a call to leave so she can look up shit about Anwar. They pull up next to her and Georgie thinks she's hot as fuck.
Their addresses and put out a tracer if you need to.
He then moons her, which pushes her to throw her burger at his stinking ass. She notices the name of the cafe. Tummin Cafe is a reverse version of Anwar's last name, Namtut. With Connie tied up on the table, Mike starts reading from the unholy Sheetar book.
Tonight we raise your sister from the grave. Tonight we invoke the resurrection of Sheetar. Sheetar.
Now they just need Uncle Anwar to say the words. Where the fuck did he go? He's just brain and eyes, couldn't have gone far. They hear the door creak and go to investigate to find the lock has been cut. Fucking Stan. George goes to lock the door, but Sheba comes in and arrests the dude for mooning her. Luckily, Mike's a good protective brother. George ties her up in the back room before giving her a cheap shot. We cut over to Stan's cafe, and Anwar is trying to walk Stan through the recipe. Since he's not a priest ordained in the cult of Sheetar, he can't make the dish. Stan doesn't care though, and threatens to flush Anwar down the toilet. Mike grabs Stan's and gives him a good stab at. George starts to taunt Stan, so he throws a meat cleaver at George, but his aim sucks. After enough shenanigans, Stan grabs Anwar and threatens to destroy him. We all know the punishment for the crime of theft and kidnapping. Stan goes to close the door and cut off his other hand and laugh as Stan tries to drive away with no hands.
Make me a cripple, will ya? Cut off my hands and laugh about it, will ya? God damn it! I'm gonna get the cops! I won't see you last then!
At first I thought Stan was just a fuckboy, but honestly, he fucking dominates. Eventually, Stan crashes a car into a hill and dies. Back at the cafe, Mark cuts down Sheba and goes to cut her skirt open, but she kicks him off of her.
Holy Christ! I was just trying to give you some air. I swear I wasn't going to go any further than the second or third button.
We cut over to George sawing open the brains of the body that Sheetar is going to possess, and then proceeds to put Anwar into her dome. We cut to the club where everyone is just getting high on drugs. Drugs dominate. This looks like the proper place to have a blood feast. Mike begins to read more of the incantation. The drugs everyone was taking must have all kicked in, and they get mad hungry for meat and begin digging into the food that the brothers brought. Mike keeps reading from the black magic of vanished cultures as George lays Connie down for the sacrificing of the virgin. Sheba gets us in the club by force, just in time for the Sheetar awakening.
Your humble servant respectfully offer your first meal on earth.
Fuck off, Sheba. Everyone in this club starts turning into these zombie-like creatures as Sheetar drools this green shit all over Connie. Sheetar has this gnarly mouth stomach that's gonna be hard to show full screen here. Right before the creature eats Sheba, Mark comes out and saves the day. He was just late because he couldn't find any fucking parking. Cut over to Sheetar throwing lightning bolts out of her fingertips into this dude's head. This makes George so excited that he has to punch a guy. Mark begins bucking off shots as the creature continues eating people. Oh shit, the lead singer of this weird Nazi band got attacked by a regular creature before Sheetar got to him. Sheetar is fucking shit up in this club. It's almost like Carrie, except way better. As Sheba and Mark continue to shoot these creatures, Connie tries to escape but gets caught, and Mike tries to feed her to Sheetar's gut mouth. Mark, that was gonna be so rad to see. George is fucking pissed and tosses the hook at Mark and pulls him towards him. Mark ran out of bullets, so what the fuck's he gonna do? Don't feed him to Sheetar. Don't! She needs a virgin! Sheba makes sure that that doesn't happen and kicks George's head into Sheetar's gut mouth. Since he's not a virgin, she explodes. The EMS crew begins to clean up the carnage as the chief takes a look around to see what the fuck happened here. One was coming back to life, but Chief got a headshot without even looking.
Oh, shit.
And that's why he's the chief. Damn, look at this sexy woman in the red leather dress walking past the scene of the crime. Some dude thinks she's a hooker and picks her up.
Hey, baby. Right before I stick my big sausage in you, what do they call you?
They call me Sheetar.
This movie fucking rules. As far as B horror movie goes, this is one of the best. Yeah, sure, the dubbing issues are pretty bad. The gore could have been a little better. They also used a dummy as Stan was probably fucking, so they didn't have to pay somebody. But that all makes this movie something that every horror fan needs in their collection. This movie really has everything that a B-rated movie horror checklist could have. Cheesy gore, check. Silly dialogue, check. Lots of tits, check. A plot that doesn't really make too much sense, check. Seriously, go buy this fucking movie. It's a great addition to any horror collection and any movie collection. Thanks for tuning in to this week's horror review. Next week, I'll be starting off a newer yet very well-respected trilogy. We're going to cover the Firefly Flammy saga with A House of a Thousand Corpses. See you and hail Sheetar.